Welcome to a brand new episode of Burnin, everyone. We just got off of Mille Lacs yesterday, so we're still in Minnesota for this episode. We're gonna do some more ice fishing. This time we're a little bit smaller body of water here in Minnesota, and we're targeting crappies. We've got Joe, likely Sam gonna be coming out later. So Jake and Alex couldn't make this trip either, so we're a little low on numbers as far as getting lines in the water, but we're gonna try to jig out some crappies here, maybe set some iFish pros. Joe's got some holes drilled out off of a pretty sharp break out into the main lake basin. So that's where we're starting our search for these crappies. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, first drop of the day here. I drilled some holes along this deep break. I'm out in the deeper stuff right now. I had some fish marking in this hole. Oh yeah, they're already coming up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of fish. I don't know how big they are, but we'll see here. Hooked up. Oh, we gotta get bigger than this. Well, guys, it's the right species, but it is the wrong size. I just got a jigging wrap. I mean, they're charging this thing hard. Ooh, just missed another one. I need to get a lighter rod and a different lure on.
What I'm starting out with, small plastic here. They come charging right up right away. We're in about 20 feet of water. That's where I'm sitting right now. They're just stacked up on the bottom. Wow, there is a lot of fish down there right now. Yep. Oh, that's a decent crappie. That's a keeper right there. That's a nice eater. You can see she's got that plastic down. But this is like the size we're looking for if we were gonna keep a bunch here, so. That is beautiful crappie. First spot of the day, and we're finding what we're looking for already.
All right, guys, another new bait. Little flap tail, glow yellowhead. Guys, one thing with plastics you want to do, every time you catch a fish, always check your knot. Make sure it's coming straight out of the jig so that bait sits horizontal in the water. Otherwise, the knot slides up when you get a fish. Knot slides up when you get a fish, and then it's sitting there vertical, and then it doesn't look right. So make sure every time you catch a fish, you're pulling your knot to the top, and then your bait's gonna sit right.
Trying to figure out what these fish want. There's one. Doesn't feel huge. Ah. Oh yeah. Decent crappie. A little on the smaller side, but crappie nonetheless. Probably pushing 9. 8 to 9 incher there. Ideally, would like to start seeing some over 9, but only one of them so far today.
For those of you guys that don't know what a flasher is or how to use one, you can see my bait right here. This is my bait. I'm coming down, so now this is the bottom, and everything that comes up there now is going to be, that's a fish. You can see the fish coming up now, charging, racing, and he's on. It makes it a lot more fun when you can anticipate the bite instead of just sitting there jigging over a hole where you don't know what's underneath. It's fun stuff. Not the size we're looking for, but the right species. Might bounce around to a few holes here to see if the bigger ones are stacked up in certain areas or what's going on. Ross was catching perch up shallower. Crappie seem to be out deeper. There's definitely a lot of fish here. And he's charging again. Ooh. This is about as fast an action as you can ask for. It'd be nice if they're all 14 inchers, but there he is circling the hole. You maybe got to get some bigger baits out, huh?
So I just moved holes here. That hole after I caught that crappie went blank. And now I got, ooh, just missed that one. I got fish stacking up underneath it right now. So what I've switched with here is this Swedish pimple tipped with wax worms. So gotta get more live bait, get her back down there, more fish. There's one. Finally got one to bite here. Ooh. Ooh. That's nice. Swedish pimple gets another. That's gotta be 9.5.
Ooh. This one actually feels a little better right off the get-go here. We'll see. Oh yeah. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Definitely the nicest one I've caught. There you're getting up in that 10-inch range. Get back down because there's a lot more down there.
All right, so we've hit midday. We are making a change. We're picking up right now, and we're gonna try to find some bigger fish. So this is our first time ever fishing this lake, and we're doing it so it's a little bit of exploration. I mean, we got some good action and, well, a few quality crappies out of this first spot, but we're looking for a little bit bigger. So Joe's brother Sam, he's coming out, so we'll get some extra lines in the water, and we'll see if we can't get on some bigger fish here.
That one just inhaled it. This might be a nicer fish. He's fighting like a nicer fish. There we go. A little bit better. We're getting closer. He's still not quite there, but more of the same.
So here's the update. We've spent the last 3 hours trying to find bigger and better crappies as far as size, but we had no luck as far as that goes. So we're back to square one. We're back to where we started this morning. We're still marking fish here. Oh, hooked up. This could be the biggest crappie of the day. Look at there. I think I'm gonna end on that. I'm assuming that's probably one of the top contenders for the biggest crappie of the day. So, solid one. Nonetheless, that would be a good eater. Closing in on a slow afternoon. But we snagged another one, or hooked another one I should say, right in the mouth. Still fun. So that wraps another day in Minnesota. Yesterday was a solid day out on Mille Lacs, and today was an exploration day. A little bit of adventure, getting out on new water, and obviously the bite was this morning. We had some good action this morning. Wasn't quite the size that we were looking for, and we explored pretty hard this afternoon. Still managed to get what?
6 species.
6 species? Yeah. Including a small walleye, plus the bonus pike. So it was, nonetheless, it was good to get out on the water, or the hard water.
A lot of hook sets.
Yeah, and it's all learning. So I mean, we're learning new spots, and like I said, it wasn't quite the size that we were looking for, but it's hook sets and
fun with friends.
Yeah, exactly. We still had some quality fish in there, so we are calling her quits for the weekend. Time to get back to work, and
looking forward to
the rest of it. This is just basically kicking off our 2018-2019 ice fishing season. So we're looking forward to getting on some good bites with all of us and Jake and Alex. So
Should be a good time.
Good things to come. Well, hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. So unfortunately, the night took a turn. We were heading in about a quarter mile from the landing. We took a little bit different route than we'd been driving all day, and the wheeler broke through. That was a pretty scary moment as soon as that happened. So we actually cut between two islands, and it was gonna be a shortcut, but it turned into costing us a lot of extra time and a lot of extra money. And luckily everybody came away safely, but the fact of the matter was
we didn't practice what we preached about.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a spot that all the locals know. They said there's someone there every year.
that breaks through, and we were fishing a totally different lake here, and
never been on it before in the ice.
so we picked the wrong spot to cross, and in the daylight we would have seen it. At night it didn't appear until it was too late, and even, I mean, Sam said it as almost the ice was breaking underneath us, this ice don't look good, and it was too late at that point. So the wheeler was, front wheels were half up on the ice, the sled was going, I mean, it was kind of getting pulled down by the wheeler itself, but it was waist to chest deep in that area, so it wasn't crazy deep. But Joe ended up trying to pull, well, the camera equipment, he was freaking out about that, so he was able to actually pull some of our rods and equipment out through it, and then he broke through. He went in up to his chest basically, and he said, I'm in at this point, so he pulled both pins on that sled, which was no easy task.
Hands were starting to not want to move and work, and we got the sled out, and then I just beeline for the truck, just trying to stay warm.
And it was listening to him go back was one of the most horrifying experiences. Like, I've never heard sounds like that out of a person.
You just know they're cold.
That was that cold.
Scary cold.
Quarter mile walk back to the landing. We're trying to gather some more stuff and make sure he's still upright and walking. And it was, I think this puts into perspective, like, you know, it's always in the back of your mind about going through the ice, but one of the main things too that as ice fishermen we got to keep in mind is how quickly hypothermia can set in. And I know you weren't there yet, but it was getting close.
Yeah, and luckily we were close enough to the landing where I could get back. I peeled off my clothes and I started the truck and got warm again. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on a bigger body of water, or
like we talked about Mille Lacs, I mean, you go in 6 miles out,
yeah,
you got a half-hour ride in.
it's not going to be good.
That's why it's so important, and we said it in our Mille Lacs video, to do your homework and research out these lakes, especially if you're going to a new lake for the first time. You gotta know.
And there is a ton of people on this lake, a ton. So don't just think everyone else is out here, the whole lake's fine, because that one spot was not good. And everyone who was locally knew it, but...
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, I mean, what would have prevented us all is A, if we had taken the same path we took
that we knew
the
was
rest
good.
of the day, and B, because we had never been on the lake, we shouldn't have been driving in the dark. I mean, we had headlights on a four-wheeler, but obviously it's not enough. I mean, just take extra precautions. I know.
And even just calling a bait shop in the area saying, is there any bad stuff I should know about? Like, if there's a known spot, a community spot that everyone says, yeah, that's bad every year, that's good to know.
So, I mean,
Luckily, it all
worked out. I mean, we ended up actually asking somebody for help, and somebody did come out and were willing to at least try to pull the wheeler, but he was walking up to the wheeler to help us strap. He went down through the ice. It was just a horrible section of ice, and daylight hours, we would have known way better. And I mean, it was eye-opening when we got there now this morning to get it pulled out, and it was like there was no way we should have ever drove through that. But that's, you know, hindsight 2020. And should also note too that not long after the incident occurred, we reported to the sheriff. He came out later that night of the incident and actually put out cones and thin ice signs in that area just to help prevent others from going through in that same spot. But thankfully to Mike's Towing and Specialties,
Yeah, they were nice guys.
awesome guys, they pulled it all out for us. They put their life on the line basically to get this wheeler out, but they have obviously
a lot of
A
experience.
ton of
You can
experience.
tell when they're working, they've done this before.
Yeah, so you
good
guys,
guys that were willing to. I mean, it's Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
and they were willing to come out and help us out. I mean,
they didn't even think twice. I mean, they're like, we'll go get our stuff, and it was a awesome process to watch because they were so grouped. It literally took them, once they had hooked up to the wheeler,
It was no time.
like
Under
maybe
an
10
hour.
minutes.
Yeah, I mean,
so
by the time they got back, it was up and out, and they weren't afraid. But
we're gonna take a breather and come down from the adrenaline rush of last night and thank the good Lord upstairs for keeping us safe for another fishing trip.
Yep. He's watching over us, that's a fact.
Yeah. So if you guys ever need any towing assistance in the Rush City area, look up Mike's.
North Metro.
Yeah, look up Mike's Towing and Specialties. Like we said, awesome guys. So, well, I think that concludes this episode. We can finally sign off now. We're safe.
We're on dry ground.
We're on dry ground. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.